Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report. It's Mitchell Renz here from Chat Sports. And today, we're going to get into the latest news and rumors that happened around Minicamp. We're also going to talk about Tre'von Moehrig Jakorian Bennett. But hey, would not been able to do today's show if it wasn't for our awesome sponsor. They have helped me elevate my cooking game, and they can help you out as well. Go to hexclad.com/chat. Make sure you use promo code chat, but don't worry. The link's going to be available for you guys down in the comments and in the description of today's video. So we talk about news, rumors. You're going to get updates on Tre'von Moehrig, on Jakorian Bennett, and there's going to be a lot of fans that don't get to see that info. You know why? Because they're not subscribed. And if you're looking for 24/7, 365 days of coverage here, we got you covered. 2 videos every single day, multiple live videos every single week, and we're doing a battle here at Chat Sports. Which YouTube channel can get the most subscribers? The Raiders Report, our fan base, it's doing well, but I know that we can do better. And I'm giving shout-outs to all the new subscribers that hit that button in the month of June. Hey, also, don't be afraid to join the Noti Gang. Shout out to Mogul, Angel, Jay Nori, John, Joe Evans. A lot of J's. That definitely looks like an Oakland tailgate if I remember them correctly. Huge shout out to everyone that took a second to hit that subscribe button. And if you want to see your name on a future Raiders Report show, all you got to do, seriously, hit the subscribe button. Let's talk about Tre'von Moehrig, the Raiders safety entering his 3rd year. I don't know about y'all, but one of the top players that I had circled wondering, how are they going to make the jump? What is it going to look like for him in year 2 in the Patrick Graham system? All the reports so far have been that Moehrig has been having a very impressive offseason, whether that be at OTAs or the first 2 days at mandatory minicamp. He looks much better in year 2 of the Patrick Graham defense. You got to think about it. It's tough for a player to go from college to the NFL. And he's in a Gus Bradley system. Then he goes to the Patrick Graham system, and now he's in a whole nother season. The Raiders' plan for him, as it stands right now, they're going to use him as a free safety. They're going to use him as a strong safety. They're going to use him as a box safety. The key word for the Raiders' defense this year, versatility. And Moehrig, when he was first coming out of TCU, was one of the best things that he could do. And you're going to see him used a lot in a lot of different spots this upcoming season. So Moehrig actually spoke this week about, what it's like being able to play in the same defense because, believe it or not, when you know something, it's a lot easier to go out and do it. So this is what Moehrig had to say on playing in the same defense. Yeah, it definitely feels good to have the same staff and the same camaraderie that we had last year. That was big for me. It helps me and it helps the rest of the team build relationships and play together and play faster. So one of the things that Moehrig was asked is essentially like, all right, you struggled a little bit last season, and he was asked in regards to how is it dealing with the struggles you had last season, and what are the changes that are you making this offseason in the Patrick Graham defense? This is what he had to say on it. Really, it's just being on the same page, the communication aspect of it. I've said it before. At the end of the day, it's all concepts. Just learning different concepts, learning different coaching schemes, how they want it done. But like I said, the biggest thing is just communication. When you listen to Moehrig talk, he's always been a very level-headed player from his time at TCU to his rookie year to his sophomore season and now getting ready to enter year 3. And maybe it's because, I don't know, I talk for a living, but when you listen to certain players talk and they sound confident at that podium answering questions, it makes me feel better. Sometimes why I'm a little bit frustrated with McDaniels because it sounds like he's just running circles up there. But Moehrig seems more confident on the football field and also off the field, which indicates to me that he is comfortable in what he is doing this upcoming season. And you could definitely see that he was uncomfortable last year in year 1 of the Patrick Graham system. I mean, look at these numbers. Tackles, the exact same. PBU, INTs, whatever. The numbers that you should look at, though, are the completion percentage. I mean, that is a major difference there. And then on top of that, the quarterback rating. 129.7 quarterback rating against Tre'von Moehrig last season. I liked him coming out of TCU because he was a good run stopper. He wasn't afraid to tackle, and he could also drop back and do a lot of things in terms of coverage. That was not the case. The PFF grades, they're going to show you the exact same thing. He did play in more snaps as a rookie. He dealt with some injuries last season, and even though Moehrig might not admit that the injuries hindered his performance on the field? I can confidently say that I believe that they did. A coverage grade of 49.0 this past season, 59.6. All the metrics indicate to me that Moehrig was maybe thinking a little bit too much and not reacting nearly as much as what he should have. So here's my question after seeing what Moehrig had to say about entering year 2, the latest reports, but then I also showed you the numbers. What is your confidence level in the TCU safety entering his 3rd year in the National Football League? I want you to scale it for me from 1 to 10. And I'm going to give you my answer, but first, you're about to get hit with a YouTube ad break. My confidence level in Tre'von Moehrig as it stands right now is a 7. He's a player that I know has the upside. In fact, I've said it before on this stream. I've said it before on other streams that he does have the overall ability to be one of the best safeties in the NFL. I really think for him, it's putting it together up here, and if it clicks this season, I'm telling y'all, Tre'von Moehrig is going to be an absolute dog. I got some other things to talk about with Tre'von. However, today's show sponsored by Hexclad. Get 10% off. Make sure that you use promo code chat at hexclad.com/chat. And if you're like, Mitch, tell me a little bit more about these pans and how they can elevate my cooking game. Well, I'm glad you asked. So, with Hexclad, they have revolutionized the cookware industry with a hybrid pan that gives you all the convenience and cleanup of non-stick, the versatility of your grandma's cast iron, and a lifetime warranty just in case you find a way to destroy them. Use promo code chat at hexclad.com/chat for 10% off. Hexclad truly checks every single box when it comes to picking your cookware. They are utensil safe, dishwasher safe, and oven safe up to 500 degrees. And if you're like, Mitch, I don't really trust you in your cooking game. Well, how about this? There's this guy, they call him Gordon Ramsay. Maybe you've eaten at one of his restaurants out in Las Vegas. This is what he had to say about why he uses Hexclad. The sear I can get with these pans is incredible, with absolutely no stick. The temperature control is utter perfection, and the cleanup is effortless. I love using Hexclad at home. There are also the sexiest pans on the market. Score points at home. It's time to stop ordering delivery food and start cooking like a big boy with Hexclad. Real cuisine isn't made in the microwave. It's cooked in a Hexclad. For a limited time, get 10% off with our special link, hexclad.com/chat. That's 10% off at hexclad.com/chat. I'm going to spell it out for you in case you were sleeping in the back. hexclad.com/chat with code chat. Now, if I'm going to be a dude up here saying that a pan is sexy, I got to show you how sexy this pan actually is. And even though Gordon Ramsay might not have said it, he's probably thinking it. If you don't get your hands on a Hexclad, you are an idiot sandwich. More news and rumors coming up here around the Las Vegas Raiders. I still want to be able to break down some of the stuff around Tre'von Moehrig and why my confidence level on him is at a 7 as it stands right now. So one of the biggest things that I will continue to say and why I am hopeful that this Raiders defense takes the next step is because Gus Bradley's defense back in 2021, it was a lot simpler than what the Patrick Graham's defense is to understand. And for a lot of these players, not including Moehrig, you had a you had a Paul Gunther defense, then you had a Gus Bradley defense, and now you're in a Patrick Graham defense. All defenses very, very different. So, and now entering year 2, you have Moehrig, and I'm really, really, truly hoping that he's going to be able to play better because instead of him out there, and Moehrig even said it, like the communication, he's going to have that down. Instead of him wondering what his responsibility is, Moehrig was thinking way too much last season. Instead of just going out there and playing ball. Like, these guys are incredible athletes. Moehrig has been an incredible football player his entire life. And when you watch guys have just simple, fundamental breakdowns that simply did not happen when it was a rookie, it's because he's thinking too much. So if he knows the system, if he trusts his instincts, and if he can just go out there and play, sky's the limit for Tre'von Moehrig. Coming up next here on the Raiders Report, let's talk about the latest going on around Jakorian Bennett. If you y'all don't know, who Jakorian Bennett is, the Raiders, they ended up trading up for him in round 4 of the 2023 NFL Draft. And right now, as it stands, sounds like this Raiders coaching staff likes him a lot. And it could just be the simple fact of they're trying to see what he's got and they're trying to see how he fits, but he has been working with, and honestly working a lot with the first team defense as the starting slot corner. And anytime I see that, hey, young guy being impressive, don't get me wrong, this is the ultimate hype train season. It's the ultimate everyone's in the best shape of their life season. But Jakorian Bennett is a very good athlete, and I do think that he's going to impress a lot of Raiders fans. I don't know if he's going to have the impact right away, somebody like Nate Hobbs, which is a big-time name to throw out there, but Hobbs was great in year one, and he still has the upside to be one of the better cornerbacks in the NFL because of his athletic ability. Guess what? Jakorian Bennett has a lot of athletic ability too, long arms, he's lanky, can do a lot of different things, but the reason why I just find all of this interesting is because, as you can see right now on my Raiders cornerback depth chart, Tyler Hall has been the player that has been linked, and my sources have told me that he has the early edge as being the starter. Just because Bennett, who is getting the first-team reps or the majority of the first-team reps at mandatory minicamp, that doesn't necessarily make him the starter right away. But the one thing that he is going to bring is that tenacity, and he's going to be able to bring to this really great press man coverage. And when you see a lot of the moves that the Raiders made this offseason, they're going to be looking at press man. So you got Jakorian Bennett, you got Tyler Hall, who the Raiders quickly, I always say, money talks. They quickly re-signed him before the season even ended. So the fact that he's got that extra year in Graham's system, the fact that the coaching staff, we know for a fact, likes him a lot, it's no doubt going to help out Tyler Hall. So if I'm going to talk about Tyler and I'm going to talk about Bennett here, let's have this conversation because that's what the Raiders Report's about. It's not only just talking about latest news and rumors. No, our show's different because I want you to interact with me. I want you to honestly give me your opinion down in the comments. So who's going to be the starting slot corner? Is it going to be Tyler Hall? Type TH. If you think it's going to be Jakorian Bennett, type JK, but I want you to be serious. And if you think it's going to be another player, then type your O. As it stands right now, I am making this video on June 7th. Tyler Hall still has the advantage entering year 2 in the system. Why? It goes back to a lot of the things that I was talking about with Moehrig. Year 2, knowing the system. That can be a really big difference in a lot of defensive schemes. However, I said this the other day when I was on Wasted and Graph's live show with Hammer. I said, the Raiders defense to me has more upside if Jakorian Bennett is the starter in the slot. And the only reason I say that is because if Bennett beats out Tyler Hall, that's really good news because I know Hall can be a average, reliable slot corner. Bennett, to beat him out year 1 as a rookie, that means he's picking up the system. It also, just being honest with you, Bennett's upside is here. Tyler Hall's upside's here. For this Raiders defense, man, I'll take all the upside I can freaking get at this point. Coming up next here on today's show, sponsored by HexClad, we got some Raiders minicamp news. Day 1 in the books. Day 2 also in the books. We'll talk about Hunter Renfrow. He was supposed to talk to the media today. He ended up not doing it. I'll tell you why. Before I get into today's mandatory minicamp news, again, this Saturday, me against Jermaine Illuminor, hot wings eating contest from noon to 3 p.m. out in Las Vegas. If you can't see, the address is right there, or you can just go to Google. It's a pretty cool invention. And you can look up Barcode Burgers. All the proceeds go to charity. Meet me, Jeremy Chuggs, other NFL players, current, past Raiders players. And guess what? Mount Raidermore member, Tre'von, just told me, booked my flight. I'll see you there. Come hang out with the nation here at Barcode Burgers. So in terms of some players that did not practice today, here is the list. And you're going to look down at the very bottom and see Hunter Renfrow. Technically, he was out there stretching, but then he ended up leaving, so not 100% sure of what happened there or if anything happened. But Jimmy Garoppolo, remember, Josh Jacobs, he hasn't signed his franchise tag, so he literally can't practice yet. The only injuries that I would say are piquing my interest, Justin Herron is continuing to be injured. Jordan Willis, he's competing for a spot, and with some of the UDFA stepping up, definitely a name to keep in mind. And then same with the rookie, Amari Burney. Some of the players that were impressive today, according to some people that reached out to me, Zamir White continues to look good. And I do a slight eye roll. It's not because Zamir can't look good. He has cut down in weight. Sounds like he looks faster. But this is the time of the year where Zamir White probably looks good because Josh Jacobs isn't out there on the field, and people are trying to hype it up a little bit. One person who was a clear winner today, I had somebody text me and tell me, was Ameer Abdullah. Ameer Abdullah continues to show that he is an extremely versatile running back, not only in special teams, but also his ability to be able to run the football. His quickness, I was even told, is really ramping up a little bit. So Kennedy Polamalu seems like we found a pretty good one there. So with Jacobs not at mandatory minicamp, Ameer Abdullah stepped up. Zamir White stepped up. To me, it just shows time and time again that there is absolutely positively no reason to keep Brandon Bolden. Cut Brandon Bolden, save the $2.23 million, use that money, and either going out and get another defensive player or making sure that we use that money to make Josh Jacobs a happy man. More players that were impressive today at Raiders mandatory minicamp day 2. They still have another day for tomorrow, was Duke Shelley. And this one puts a big smile on my face because when the Raiders signed Shelley, I sat up here and I said, this is going to be one of the most underrated signings of the entire offseason. Shelley's going to fit well with Patrick Graham's system. Shelley's going to fit well with press man coverage. So if you have Duke Shelley playing well, good news. Also good news, Nate Hobbs. I have heard nothing but glowing remarks around the third-year corner. And when we talked about Moehrig, Hobbs also struggled. He also dealt with some injuries. So if you have Nate Hobbs that can go back to playing at a top 10 corner, and then you can go back and you can talk about Duke Shelley playing at a high level. Great stuff there. Another player that stepped up today was Marcus Epps in the safety spot. If you have Moehrig, Marcus Epps, Nate Hobbs, and Duke Shelley all playing at a high level, I'm telling you right now, you will have a top 20 defense. And some of you are like, top 20, who cares? Every Raider fan should care. You know who else cares? Shout out to Cat. Shout out to Rebel Montana. Those are some real ones. I bet you they care. We haven't had a top 20 defense in a very, very long time. Now, the way that we're going to end today's show is we're going to talk about Hunter Renfrow because Renfrow was supposed to speak to the media today. He was out there stretching, but he did not practice. So for that reason, he didn't end up speaking to the media. There's been a lot of rumors out there around trade rumors. Hell, I've been talking about trade rumors left and right with Renfrow. And nothing really as new is out on this. It's simple. It's the Raiders want to keep Renfrow unless they are given a trade offer that really blows off their doors. Are they listening to trades? Yes, but they are not going out there saying, hey, who wants Hunter Renfrow? They're not making this a yard sale. If somebody offers them something that they cannot refuse, they will trade Renfrow. If that does not happen, he is going to be a main part in that Raiders offense, which, you know, we could talk about all we want with how we don't know what this quarterback situation is going to look like. If you can find a healthy Jimmy Garoppolo with the talent that the Raiders have at wide receiver, at tight end, it's going to be a difficult offense to stop. Trey Tucker looks very quick at practice from what I hear. Philip Dorsett has also been pretty damn impressive stretching out the field. You have Sims, another player that's been getting reviews. So this Raiders wide receiver room does look pretty good. It's loaded, and the only reason why we're talking about the Renfrow trade room is because you could save $11.3 million if they move on from him. If you want to see some crazy blockbuster trade ideas that I did around number 13, the video is on the channel. I dropped it this morning. The link's going to be available down in the comments and in the description of the video, and it's just another reason why you should subscribe to the Raiders Report.